Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Chris. Today's episode is going to be a little more personal than usual, I suppose. And the reason for that is that today I woke up to a huge fight, actually. To some of you, that might be interesting and intriguing, and to some of you, that might be a complete turn off and make you not want to listen to this. But whatever the case, I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why it started and where it went, how it made me feel. Because something that I've come to realize, actually, is that there isn't a lot of acceptance of especially adult men having emotions other than like happiness and anger. Those are the two emotions that we're allowed to have. And I think it's perfectly fine for an adult to be sad too. And I'm not afraid to admit that I cry sometimes. I'm not stoic. I'm not strong in the traditional manly sense, but I don't think you have to be. I think there are a lot of ways to be strong, and one of those ways is that you're actually able to share and show your emotions. Anyway, I've talked about how my girlfriend and I are actually in a long distance relationship, and she lives on the other side of the planet, basically. Meaning that our time zones differ a lot. I get up very early though, so she'll often be awake when I do wake up. I don't get up that early, I get up at 5 every morning, and so it's only 9 at her place, which means that most of the time she'll be awake. And that's kind of nice, you know, we get to say goodnight to each other and all of that. But the problem is, if she's had a long day, she can have a bit of trouble controlling her emotions sometimes. And I try to help her with that as much as I possibly can, but it does get difficult. And today was just one of those days where it was too difficult. Because we were saying goodnight, and she was telling me that she'll try to sleep now. And as a bit of a background story here, my girlfriend has a lot of problems with sleep. She's the kind of person who has trouble going to sleep and also trouble not staying asleep. Like, she has trouble getting up. She's very tired and can barely open her eyes and such. And I've tried to explain to her that, you know, there might be some issue, but first and foremost, she needs to try to build a routine and see if that might help fix things. Anyway, she was saying she tried to sleep, and in an effort to encourage her, I decided to tell her that no, you're not going to try, you're going to succeed. And that ended up in an argument that lasted more than an hour. Because according to her, I was setting too high expectations for her, and I was being unfair. It was unkind of me to say something like that. And I shouldn't have, apparently. I, of course, tried to maintain that it's okay for me to be encouraging. It's okay for me to tell her that she can do this. It's good, it's healthy. But, you know, sometimes it just is what it is. I tried to not deal with it too much. Tried to tell her that, well, I'm sorry that I said it. I'm probably going to say something similar in the future because I enjoy supporting you. I enjoy encouraging you. And yeah, rather than... And I suppose I get that part. You know, I probably shouldn't have said that when she was already being emotional and moody. Probably shouldn't have mentioned that, I'll most likely do it again. Guess that threw her off a little bit. But one of my problems is that I'm much too honest. Especially in regards to like my own flaws and failures. I won't promise her that I won't encourage her again, because that's just no. But, I mean, if this is a pattern that repeats and she continues to be dissatisfied with me trying to support her, then obviously I'm going to eventually stop. But I feel like that's just something that would kill the relationship. You know, I feel like that's a hidden killer maybe not that hidden actually. Because if you no longer encourage each other, if you stop supporting each other, and you stop listening to each other, it's like she wants a lot of crazy things. But then again, I'm also her first like real relationship. She's been in previous relationships, but they've never been serious or anything. I don't think she has the capacity to actually, be capable of being in a relationship as things are right now. We've only been together for a little more than a year, and she has a lot to learn. There's still a long way to go, and that's not to say that she's a bad girlfriend. It's just one of the things I had to kind of teach her was that you'll never find a perfect partner. Because she wants to be perfect, and she wants me to be perfect as well. And she tries to make me perfect, like not in the way that she tries to change me or anything, but she tries in her head to make me this perfect boyfriend. And I've tried to explain to her that I'm not a perfect boyfriend, and I never will be. But I do love her, and I want to spend my life with her. And so if that's something she wants as well, she's going to have to accept the fact that she'll only ever be 80% satisfied with me. I have annoying habits. Maybe I talk weird sometimes, and there'll always be something that will bother her. One of the things that bothers me about her, for example, is that she has a tendency to not close the cabinets after using them. That really bothers me. It's like, just close the cabinet. But rather than hounding her about it, I've shared to her my feelings that I find it really frustrating that she doesn't close the cabinets, but that it's something that, if it's okay, I'll just keep reminding her, could you please remember to close the cabinets? And, we'll slowly get used to it. And either she'll get used to actually closing the cabinets, or I'll get used to her not closing the cabinets. And I think that either way is fine, really. It's just better to share that with her than to run around being really annoyed all the time and grumbling about the unclosed cabinets and keeping it in. It's better to be upfront about it. I'm not perfect, she's not perfect, neither of us are supposed to be perfect. The perfect relationship doesn't exist. But that doesn't mean that you have to embrace the culture of fighting. And yeah, sometimes we get in unfair fights. Sometimes it's my fault, oftentimes it's her fault. It's a bit difficult to share in a way that doesn't make it look like I'm just putting all the blame onto her. But she is definitely less capable of handling conflict, for example. She's more tumultuous and has difficulty controlling her inner musings. Now, I have a lot of that too. I also have difficulty controlling my inner voice. But I've, for the most part, learned to ignore it or learned to share it in positive ways. Which is one of the reasons that I'm so honest, actually. Because it's a lot easier to just be honest about things. Anyway, that was actually part of what led me to thinking that today's episode was supposed to be about these energy vampires. Because I have a friend who's like that. And I unfortunately also has a girlfriend who can be like that. And yesterday, they both decided to drain my energy on the same day. And it's like, I can only really handle one at a time. And like I was telling my girlfriend then, I think I'll need to phase out my friend. I can't deal with it. I only have room in my life for one high maintenance relationship, and that spot goes to my girlfriend. Of course, I wish it wasn't high maintenance like that, but I also don't blame her for it. She's not a worse person for it. She's just a person who has some difficulties. I've been there and I'm still there in a lot of ways, and sometimes, to some people, I'm the energy vampire. That's just how it is. We have all been the sucker and the suckee, I suppose. And again, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just human. But we do need to take care of ourselves. And one way to take care of ourselves is to not surround ourselves with these people. To make sure to only engage with them in limited quantities. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Because I can't keep dealing with two people that are like this. I need people who give me energy. People who make me laugh and smile, not make me feel rejected and isolated. And my friend actually does that. We were just talking yesterday about the current crisis with Ukraine and Russia and how it's been affecting inflation. And I was saying that the worst part is that the likelihood of prices going back down to what they used to be is probably pretty low. And rather than respond to that, she just told me to shut up. I didn't know what I was talking about. Her friend who studies law already told her that things will go back to normal. And she can't deal with anyone else's opinions, so she's sticking to that. And that completely shocked me. She didn't even, I told her that, okay, that's fair enough that you can't handle it, but you could still say it nicely. And she just kept rejecting that. No, she couldn't, and I should just be quiet. And I think, wow, is this the kind of person I want to be friends with? It's not. It's not the kind of person I want to be friends with. It's fine to have your own opinion. Mine is just an opinion. I don't know much, honestly. I do have one issue with it, though, and that is, well, two, I suppose. But they are pertaining to the same thing. And the first one is that her friend studies law, not economics. So while there is some definite overlap, I feel like it's not as great an argument as she thinks it is. And the second thing is, I don't like it when educational level is used against people. Because I have, honestly, and I think most of us have had experiences like these. I have met educated people who are not very smart. Like, okay, maybe they're smart, but they're not intelligent. They know a lot of stuff. They're good at their jobs, highly educated, skilled, all of that. But then at like, when you're out for beers, they are this weird ass conspiracy theorist who thinks the moon is made of cheese. And at the same time, I have met tradespeople, carpenters, garbage men, Masons? Oh, I don't actually remember what they're called. Bricklayers, I suppose. Anyway, that are super intelligent and know a bunch of stuff. And it's just, educational level is not proof of intelligence or knowledge. It's not like you're this educated so you know this much about everything. That's not how it works. You can be really, really educated and still not know anything about a lot of things. And you can be uneducated and know a lot about a lot of things. So I kind of take issue with that. Especially because I already feel pretty bad about being this old and still not having any formal education other than a high school diploma. So it's kind of like, it hit a personal nerve. And I'm just done with it. because she's been doing that a lot. And it's like the closer I've gotten to her, like the closer friends we've become, the more she does it. I'm not going to deal with that. If she's going to continue being a bench, then I'm going to allow that. But I won't have any part in it. I only have room for one high maintenance relationship. And I think that's the case for most people. So make sure to take care of yourself. Don't let people drag you down too much. Just try to enjoy your life regardless. You can find better people. Even if you feel like they're your only friend, you can find someone better. And you'll be a lot happier for it. So, I'm gonna end this here. I apologize that this episode has been a little strange, but it probably hasn't been that different to usual, if I'm honest. I feel like this is my usual quality level, so I guess anyone listening would probably be used to it at this point. I really do hope someone listens to these one day, but let's see where it goes. If anything, it's very cathartic to just talk about things. Let's do the usual YouTube thing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear your opinion about, energy vampires and people like this. Please don't criticize neither my friend nor my girlfriend, or me for that matter, in an unkind way. If you've got something to share it, but be nice about it. Always remember to be nice, because there's no need to escalate situations, especially not when things are already tense. So yes, like, comment, subscribe. It's been a pleasure talking to you, really cathartic, really helped me out in getting a better start to the day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.